Hi, welcome to my React Redux portfolio project video walkthrough. For my app, I did a portfolio valuation tool. This is the main screen. In this section, we have where the user enters their portfolio information. On the right-hand side, we have just some general information. Is there Bloomberg's top 10 headlines of the moment? We have the Dow Jones Industrial Average, the last refresh time. And currently this panel refreshes once every minute automatically. On the portfolio side, the refresh is on demand. You see the different columns, the market value, daily change. So I use one feed to get the intraday prices. I used a second feed to get the headlines. And I needed a third feed to get the Dow Jones Industrial Average. There's only one feed that does indexes and one that does equities. On the portfolios, each portfolio consists of positions in a variety of stocks. On this page, we can add a new portfolio, or we can edit the name, or delete it. Let's look at one of the portfolios. So here, each row represents a position. And once again, similar data, totals at the bottom of the table. If we refresh, the market's open, so we should see, for instance, the day change. Right now it's 21.75. It should change, and there it goes, 21.69. I used semantic UI React for my styling, so that was pluses and minuses. You know, it certainly gave you a quick start to get some kind of look and feel going, and to set up menus and buttons and things like that. But to do the fine tuning, I think would be quite a challenge. They have, tens of thousands of lines of CSS code, all geared towards a certain way of doing things. And if you want to dig into that, I think you'd have a lot of work ahead of you. So I wasn't too thrilled with some of the things I wanted to do that I couldn't, and I didn't feel like trying out another UI. But so this is what we got. I made the tables so they could sort on each column. By clicking up and down. Let's see, we can add a symbol. Let's see, we'll add Microsoft. I put in some validation in the front end and the back end. The back end validation messages also pass through to the client. And voila, there's Microsoft in its proper sorted position. We can edit that to something else. And that gets changed. If we hover over, it tells you what the name of the company is, in case you forgot. To look up a symbol, the data feed provider has right now about 8,500 symbols. I tried loading that into a select statement, didn't work out too good, so I switched over to a key-by-key lookup with the SQLite database on the server. So if we start typing, you can look for either symbols or company names. It'll look at both. So for instance, I want to look up Microsoft. As I type, it's narrowing down and then we get to Microsoft. If I knew the symbol, didn't know the company, I could type it in that way, and you get to the same place. As well. When I originally set up the seed data for 8,500 symbols and prices, the seed file came to, I don't know, it was a huge amount, 120 meg, 200 meg, something like that, because it's all active record statements. That's not going to work. So I just chopped it down to a bare minimum of about 10 symbols, and then I gave an option over here to load in the background the entire list of instruments and prices for them, excuse me, from the vendor. That was a long-running query that caused problems, so I shoved this over to Sidekick. So if I go ahead and do that now, we should see that, oops, get back. Right here, here's the Sidekick start up here. It takes about 7 seconds to load all the symbols, and there it is. At the bottom, terminated. What else can we cover? Data cache. So originally I had in mind doing this with a real-time feed vendor with a publish subscribe model, but they weren't available for free. So it's a request by request how you get these values. So what I did was, and I was concerned too that if the feed wasn't available, these freebie feeds can be a little iffy. So all the requests for prices go into the SQLite database and then get served out to the clients. So when you first start up the application, you're getting the last time prices were saved to the database by somebody hitting the refresh, for instance. And then from then on, when you hit the refresh, you're getting the live feed. So that serves two purposes. One is that if the feed is down, we still have something to work with, and that is the last prices in the database. And the other effect it has is that if I ever do get a live feed, I can just plug and play, just unplug the database feed and stick in the live feed. And I think that's about all I wanted to cover. I planned on making this have a obviously right now it's a single user thing, so anybody who had access to the server could go and edit these portfolios. But I read somewhere for the purposes of people looking at your app online, they found it a little annoying to have to create an account and log in, so I kind of just skipped over that. And I did it for my last project, so I wouldn't be learning anything new. But a future upgrade is to make this have user permissions and also to set an admin permission so not anybody can just sit here and refresh the whole database during the day. I think that covers it. Thank you very much for listening. Take care.